waiting period, again we are starting with our lectures. Now in this series we are going to take a group of the remedies and understanding of the remedies and try miasmatic understanding of all remedies, all groups with cured cases. So evidence-based case taking, evidence-based case presentation, and along with that we'll give the complete trimiasmatic picture of each and every group, what we will take in future also. So today we are going with the case of necrotic pancreatitis. This patient was admitted into SEEDS hospital in Surat. તો બેઝિકલી જ્યારે પેશન્ટ અહીંયા એડમિટ હતો ને ત્યારે ડૉક્ટર નિશાંત આપણા એ અને એના વાઈફ બે જણ એને જોતા હતા, એના વાઈફ જોતા હતા કારણ કે એ ત્યાં જોબ કરતા હતા. તો સુરતના જે ગેસ્ટ્રોએન્ટરોલોજીસ્ટ છે એમણે કીધું કે ભાઈ આ કેસમાં કંઈ બહુ છે નહીં, સો વિલ નોટ બી એબલ ટુ ડુ એનીથિંગ ઇન ધીસ કેસ. તો પછી ડૉક્ટર નિશાંતને એ લોકોએ વાત કરી કે ભાઈ અમે આ કેસમાં હોમિયોપેથી આપીએ તો ચાલે કે નહીં, તો કે આપો તમારે જે આપવું હોય તો વાંધો નથી. સો ધેન એ લોકોએ વાત કરી અને આઈસીયુમાં જ્યારે પેશન્ટ હતા ત્યારે એમણે ડોઝ સ્ટાર્ટ કરેલા. મિસ્ટર પી પટેલ 40 years male, USG grade 1 fatty liver with hepatomegaly nodular liver with hepatosplenomegaly chronic necrotic pancreatitis. Shows septated echogenic ascites peritonitis. This was the sonography. This was the patient. He was on to ventilator. જ્યારે નિશાંતભાઈ લોકોને આ જોયા ત્યારે પછી બધાએ ડિસ્કસ કરી અને they have given phosphorus 30. As we all know that phosphorus is an ICU ready. Okay. So phosphorus 30 wrist application every 1 hour initially begins. So phosphorus 30 આપ્યા પછી the patient was in ICU and gastroenterologist has given up all hopes. Dr. Sanjana and Nishant, husband wife, both are husband wife, has given phosphorus 30 every 1 hour for this patient and he survived.
Phosphorus.
So, patient જે કન્ડિશનમાં હતું બરાબર ત્યાંથી સૌથી પહેલો ટાર્ગેટ હતો સર્વાઈવલ. So when it comes to survival, as we all know, we need to give pathological signaling, right? Because life is important. So સૌથી પહેલા survival આવશે. So the phosphorus 30 was given and patient survived. અવાજ આવશે?
વોલ્યુમ એમાં સ્પીકર નથી નાખવું ને આપણે,
નથી
એમાં વાગશે લેપટોપમાં.
વિડીયોમાં નહીં આવે, અત્યારે આવશે પણ આમાં નહીં આવે. આપણે સાંભળીએ પછી પાછું આમાં આવીએ ને આપણે જોઈએ ને
વિડિયો છે.
ડબલ ક્લિક કરો.
જો એની પહેલા એક મિનિટ છે એ આ વિડીયો છે.
કાલે તો કેને મળવા ફોટો મનતા ખબર ગમતો ચાલુ સ્ટેટસ આ તો કાંઈ નથી બેન તો જતો
પેનડ્રાઈવ માંથી લિંક કરું
બેસ્ટ ફ્રેન્ડ છે ભાઈ. આ તો નો માઇન્ડ તો કેમ તમે કાગળ લખી મારી ફિલ્મ જતી રહે
પોતાની પાછળ
પેન ડ્રાઈવ છે બીજી પેન ડ્રાઈવ છે પેલામાંથી વિડીયો કોપી કરી
પેન ડ્રાઈવમાં છે સર મારો પહેલા લેપટોપમાં છે
પેન ડ્રાઈવમાંથી જ ઓપન ચલો
એમાંથી કેવો ને તો વાંધો નથી
So this was the last video, sorry, last image of the patient when he was in the hospital.
બપોર વચ્ચે જશ
Then Dr. Nishan referred this patient to me. એને જ્યારે ત્યાંથી ઓપરેટ કર્યા ને ત્યારે એને સ્ટમક પાઉચ હતું because he was not able to eat. That stomach pouch was outside the body. So when the patient came to my clinic, જેવી રીતે બેઠો लाइफ जैसे जैसे वो बैठा पेशेंट तो उसने स्टमक पाउच पूरा ऐसे टेबल पे रखा था तो ही वाज केम अलोंग विद द स्टमक पाउच इन हिज हैंड okay so this was the history complaint started with vomiting before 2 months pain in abdomen and CT scan done which shows pancreatic cyst and ascites with pleural effusion. He was chronic alcoholic since more than 10 years. Before 10 years, he got financial loss in stock market near about 1.5 crore. 1.5 crore, 1.5 crore financial loss was there in stock market. So this was a major shock for him. Patient says, this is in Gujarati. I will convert it to Hindi also. Patient says, 10 વર્ષ ખોટા ગયા મારા અને પસ્તાવો થાય છે આખી લાઈફ મેં ખરાબ કરી મારા લીધે મારા ઘરના પણ બધા દુઃખી થયા સો બેઝિકલી
એક મિનિટ ફોન્ટ મોટા કરવાનો તમે કન્ટિન્યુ કરો ફરી ફોન્ટ મોટા કરે છે નહીં હવે પાછું ડિસ્ટર્બન્સ
so basically जब पेशेंट आए थे at that time he was not in a condition to talk properly so मुझे जितना हो सके जल्दी से उसका हिस्ट्री निकाल के जल्दी से उसका मेडिसिन क्लियर करना था ठीक है बिकॉज ही वॉज एक्सट्रीम इन डिस्कम्फर्ट आप सोच सकते हैं कि एक स्टमक पाउच ऐसे टेबल पे रख के पेशेंट कैसे बैठ सकता है सो दैट वाज द कंडीशन ऑफ दिस पेशेंट सो व्हेन पेशेंट सेज कि मैंने पूरा मेरा लाइफ खराब कर दिया और मेरी वजह से मेरे घर के लोग भी परेशान थे सो what we can get from this line
he is blaming himself self reproach
so at least we got one thing that this is autoimmunity
self reproach
okay so we need to cover the state of patient exactly what he is saying so there are multiple rubrics multiple possibilities comes when patient says this kind of things okay so that is reproaches himself remorse repentance many of the things delusion wrong done okay so these all kind of perception we can get his wife had an affair with one guy and there was many misunderstanding between them and he got angry extreme but cannot express his anger on his wife he was very humble person he is very humble person right now he does bloody vomiting at night now we can make out that anger which was suppressed that anger indignation which was comes physically in form of bloody vomiting they both were separated and divorce taken he was very mild and calm by nature. In past, had very good relations with everyone. Very humble, very mild person, very helpful person. सबकी मदद करते थे. पूरे गांव में मतलब गांव में अगर किसी को भी जरूरत रहती थी तो वो पहुंच जाते थे. In any kind of help, whether it is financial, whether it is physical, moral, social, any help, he always used to stand up with everyone. Always helping and benevolence by nature, maintaining very good relations with everyone. I asked, what was the exact feeling and reaction when you got financial loss? He said, I was totally collapsed in my thoughts and just blaming myself for what I have done in stock market. अगर मैंने ये नहीं किया होता तो आज मेरी कंडीशन अच्छी होती. Okay? So he was constantly blaming.
Wrong done.
So there are multiple rubrics we
Self-critical.
gets in this kind of cases. But what kind of exact rubric you can take? What is the easiest way to go to that particular GCS? Because patient is survived. The phosphorus has work.
Pathology.
It's complete work done. Okay. And now, after phosphorus, if you will not give that GCS, so sir always says, when patient is in comatose condition, when patient is on ventilator, this condition is known as very thin line. What sir used to say? That condition is syphilosoro condition. That is a very linear thread. If on this point, if you are not giving any kind of antisoric remedy, the patient will again collapse, and then it is very difficult to get him out from that condition. Many times he got thoughts of death. This is very common. जैसे हम देखते हैं कि स्टॉक मार्केट में कई सारे पेशेंट में, कई सारे लोगों में ऐसा हो जाता है. They took the risk. They used to take the risk. अगर रिस्क गलत गया, लॉस गया, यूजुअली हमको अखबार में सुनने में आ जाता था कि भाई अब नहीं रहे. Due to this, they have done suicide. So basic disposition from this history. Intellect is very good because
Share market.
बहुत ज़्यादा कमाया भी था उन्होंने. बराबर. जो कमाते वही डालते, नहीं कमाते वो कभी नहीं डालते. बराबर. Morals are good. Benevolence, stubborn. घर वाले सब ना बोलते थे कि ये मत कर मत कर मत कर, फिर भी वो उसी में पड़े रहे. मत पियो, लेकिन 10 साल से पीते जा रहे. He was chronic alcoholic. History of epistaxis in childhood. So this is again the point of phosphorus. History of epistaxis. We used to differentiate, we used to rule out the medicines while we are giving the prescription. So when patient is not able to convey any kind of subjective symptoms, you can get this history from relatives. कि हमने पास्ट में गए तो कहीं तो उनका पास्ट में टेंडेंसी कैसा था बॉडी का, बराबर. तो व्हाट काइंड ऑफ डिसीजेस ही यूज्ड टू सफर इन पास्ट. Sun aggravation, many complaints. Only this much history I got, and at that time, as patient was not in a condition to sit for a long time, he came to me with the stomach pouch with his implant, which was implanted in ICU. This was the stomach pouch. ये देख लेना इनका पूरा. This was his condition at home after discharge. You can easily see this stomach pouch. So my main entry points were tears flowing during case taking. So we need sensitive remedy. We need a remedy which is in guilt. कि मैंने ये गलत कर दिया. Reproaches himself, contempt of self, remorse, repentance, death thoughts of, desires death on the base of अभी इसमें डिजायर डेथ कैसे आएगा?
પેશન્ટ પહેલામાંથી બહાર નીકળી ગયો છે પણ કન્ડિશન અત્યારે એટલી જ છે એટલે ડેથ ડિઝાયર તરફ જઈ રહ્યું છે ડેથ ડિઝાયર
अगेन डिजायर डेथ कैसे आया? ये सब पॉसिबिलिटीज है
पहला
जो मैं
नो-
खाली लिख रहा था कि कैसे
તો
पॉसिबिलिटी
સુસાઇડલ ડિસ્પોઝ સુસાઇડલ કેવી રીતના જોતું
See, if it is suicidal, then it has to be fast,
Fast.
in pathology.
હા
When it is disease death, it has to be very slow and
Slow.
progressive.
સાયકોસોફિલિટિક
But what is the disease death? That thought process
Coma.
comes. That thought process comes with alcohol.
ઓકે ક્રોનિક આલ્કોહોલ
He was
Slowly,
taking
slowly.
extra alcohol daily,
એડિક્શન
almost half a liter. So
જહર પી रहा है
basically कैसा है, कोई भी एडिक्शन रहता है ना, तो पहले हम पीते हैं, फिर वो हमें पीता है. हम पीते हैं तब तक वो साइकोसिस रहेगा, जब वो हमको पीता है तब वो सिफिलिस में आ जाएगा. Okay? As the same in tobacco also. हाँ? जब अगर हम खाते हैं, हमारी इच्छा होती है, that is psychosis, that is enjoyment.
શોખ
But अभी उसके बिना नहीं चलेगा,
આદત
so that is addiction. And addiction is syphilis.
પ્રતિક
Okay? So delusion wrong he has done, ailment from financial loss, anger with indignation. So rubrics were taken by me. I used to take a basic rubric. जो मुझे लगेगा कि भाई हाँ मेरा ये मेथड है, मुझे इसमें रिजल्ट मिलता है. तो वो समय पे रॉन्ग डिल्यूजन परसीव करने से बेटर है कि गो विद द बेसिक्स. बेसिक डिस्पोजिशन रूब्रिक्स क्या थे? इंडिग्नेशन, रिप्रोचेस हिमसेल्फ, ऑब्स्टिनेट, हेडस्ट्रॉन्ग एंड लीन पीपल. ही वाज ऑलवेज लीन पीपल. He was not due to this. But only these 4 rubrics were taken. Okay? And on this basis of sensitive remedy, we need sensitive remedy. So ये rubric space है. The medicine was covering is Natrum use. Okay? But what is the pathology? It was pancreatitis.
ડાયજેસ્ટિવ
So as sir says, what is to be cured in disease and what is the curative power of medicine. So कौन सी medicine है जो pancreas पे affect करेगी? So ultimately I got the point कि भाई this patient is Natrum. Why Natrum? There are 2 things. He always maintains good relations.
નેવર કટ
Okay. Second, they are very headstrong. They are very esteemed person. Yet they are very emotional. Natrums are. Okay. And another point of Natrum is sun aggravation physically. Physical sun aggravation. If you rule out any remedy on the base of physical, sir इतने cases लेके भी सर लास्ट में पूछते थे खाना गर्म अच्छा लगता है ठंडा अच्छा लगता है? You need extra salt or not? धूप से तकलीफ होती नहीं होती, कार में जाने से उल्टी होती नहीं होती. These all are very strong and concrete rule out points. This will not make you disappoint. And the medicine given is Natrum self, 200 single dose in SL for 1 month. So after this Natrum self, अभी वीडियो से
ડબલ ક્લિક કરવું પડશે એની પર ટેપ કરો નહીં એની નહીં પેલા ઉપર ટેપ કરો તમે છે ને વિડીયો તરીકે નથી એ આમાં પેલા
हमारा मतलब ये चलता है.
ફોટો જોઈએ ખવા જેવું લાગે છે
ત્યાં ભાઈનું ઓબ્ઝર્વેશન ખોટું ન હોય સિમિલર છે
वीडियो આપણે બતાવી દઈએ પછી.
પર્સનલ બાબત
So this was after Natrum self. Natrum self देने के बाद उनका ये वीडियो है, मैं आपको दिखाता हूँ बाद में. He can able to walk, he can able to eat. हाँ? तो उसकी ये कंडीशन आ गई. And
પછી મેઇન બાકી છે
after Natrum self 200 single dose, after 1 month follow up, the stomach pouch is completely detached, original stitching done, suturing all done, stomach is absolutely normal at that time. And this was the patient.
સેમ તો
I'll see you the video also.
વિથ બાલનેસ
ये वीडियो में क्या बोला है इन्होंने कि everything is better, he can able to do each and every work, he can able to do each and every routine work also. He has started a new business also. Basically they are farmers. Okay, so he has started all works again, and the main part is he got remarried. Okay, so this is the basically positronic effect, what we used to say. So on this basis we go with the Natrum salt today. We learn Natrum salt. So on this basis, and there are many of the results I have shown in my practice, that Natrum salt is a very strong remedy which is acting on pancreas. अगर आपके पास कोई इमरजेंसी पैंक्रियाटिक कोई भी केस है पैंक्रियाटाइटिस वाला, माय एक्सपीरियंस एंड आई एम टॉकिंग विद माय एक्सपीरियंस ओनली, अगर कोई भी एक्यूट पैंक्रियाटाइटिस, क्रोनिक पैंक्रियाटाइटिस, पैंक्रियाटिक डक्ट blockage, pancreatic stone, any pancreatic problem, if you are not able to see the patient properly, अगर आपके पास पूरा हिस्ट्री नहीं मिल रहा है, believe me, give Natrum salt, you will not disappointed anytime. I have multiple results of Natrum salt in pancreas cases. So Natrum salt is a global salt, sodium sulfate, hydrogenoid constitution leading to complaints due to living in damp weather, house basement or cellars. Okay, so now we are starting materia part. Okay, triamiasmatic materia part. So it is hydrogenoid constitution, damp weather aggravation, houses, basement or cellars. Now anybody, those who are aware of this, don't speak. कोई बताएगा कि इसके एग्जैक्टली ऑपोजिट कौन सी मेडिसिन आएगी? ये जो मोडालिटी है, लीडिंग टू कंप्लेंट्स ड्यू टू लिविंग इन डैम्प वेदर, हाउसेस, बेसमेंट और सेलर्स, इसके एग्जैक्टली ऑपोजिट. Exactly. Clear fine weather aggravation and damp weather amelioration. There are two remedies only, causticum and medorin. If you see the Allen's keynote, there is written in causticum also and medorin also, seashore aggravation. Sorry, seashore amelioration. Aggravation is Natrum salt. Okay, so seashore is damp weather aggravation, Natrum salt, Rustox, Dulcamara, Calcarea, many of the remedies. But humid weather amelioration, सर बारिश होती है ना तो सब अच्छा हो जाता है, वापस जैसे ठंडी आती है तो सब बढ़ता है. Think of causticum and medorin. These all are red line symptoms. You can directly give this medicine. If patient comes with one-sided paralysis, if patient comes with uncontrolled urination, there is my patient. That history was taken in 7 to 10 minutes only. The patient has uncontrolled urinary bladder, neurogenic bladder, what we can say. And that patient has complaints of not able to hold the urine properly. Okay. So in this history, I just ask the patient कि ये कब बढ़ता है, कब घटता है? तब बारिश में अच्छा रहता है, बारिश में I can hold my urine. खत्म. Direct causticum 10 ml single dose was given. Neurogenic bladder is completely better. Temperament is bilious, hydrogenoid constitution. Clinical affinity, debility, head injuries. The master of head injuries is Natrum salt. Another remedy is Suketu. Another remedy is. Now tell me the difference between arnica, Suketu and Natrum salt. When you will prescribe arnica, when you will prescribe Natrum salt, and when you will prescribe Suketu.
Arnica in a very initial phase.
Old injuries, exactly. Devang bhai rightly said, arnica is for initial phases. Old injuries, Natrum salt. Okay, so you will always get the sentence that old injury, after effects of injury in the head, after this many years, patient develop this kind of problem. forgetfulness, migraine, headache, anything. तब हम पूछते कि कभी लगा था ऐसे? Then it is natrum C. Second, if patient develops neurological problem after head injury, then Suketu. Especially convulsions. तो बचपन में उसको बहुत लगता था, बेड पे से 3-4 बार गिर गया था, उसको लगा था कुछ हुआ नहीं था, लेकिन 2-3 साल के बाद उसको convulsions स्टार्ट. This is the indication of Suketu. What was the line? Old concussion.
Overstimulation.
Yes.
Hypostimulation and then opium heavy molastic movements.
Yes, exactly. So convulsions also cover with Natrum cells also, Suketu also. Concussions. Myelitis, spinal meningitis, epilepsy, migraine, photophobia, biliousness, flatulence, liver affection, jaundice, hepatitis. Liver affections, especially I will say one point in this liver affections. The red line symptom of Natrum cell, everybody can note out. After any kinds of allopathic medicines, especially we used to see LFT rises in AKT patients, those who are suffering from tuberculosis. So those who are onto AKT, anti-COX treatment, उनका liver load जब बढ़ जाता है, SGPT, SGOT जब rise होता है, just give Natrum cell 200 single dose and do the report after 4 days.
આરેના પેશન્ટમાં એવું થાય પેઇન કિલર આપી પછી
Every,
કોઈ પણ
if it is
autoimmune-
painkiller, if it is higher antibiotics, if it is steroidal, any kind of allopathic medicines,
રેગ્યુલર
after allopathic medicines, when your LFT get rises, SGPT, SGOT, bilirubin, give Natrum cell and then again give the GCS of the patient or that particular phase remedy if it is a fatal condition. If the patient is stable, take will, intellect and moral and give GCS. Pancreatitis, any type of acute, chronic, necrotic, etc. diabetes. The prime affinity is on pancreas and liver. Diarrhea. Epistaxis. Again, epistaxis as in phosphorus also, acid phos also, ophidias also, ferrum phos also. These all are master remedy of epistaxis. Even arnica, if it is injury. Asthma and pneumonia, as we all know, the best medicine for asthma. These all are physical entry points. These all are physical indications. Red line symptoms of Natrum cell.
Humid weather.
From which you will never be disappointed. And if you now read the boring, how boring કરશે?
કાઢી દે.
કારા છે?
સોય દોરો છે તમારી પાસે?
બોરિંગ માં Natrum cell.
બોલવા ધ્યાન રાખજે.
મારું હતું હવે ભવિષ્ય એ રીતે બચાવે છે ડિફેન્સ છે
બોલવામાં ધ્યાન રાખે નીચે ઉતારવાનું છે. સંજીવની જવાનું છે.
મેહુલભાઈ શું લાવ્યા આપો
લસણ લાવ્યા છે ખાવા. શું છે લસણ?
લસણ થોડું છે શેરડી છે
આજુ કે રે બાકી
હજી એક થેલી આપો છોટા નાખવા
લસણમાંથી શેરડી બની
થેલી આપો છોટા નાખવા
હ્યુમિડ અસ્થમા.
See this question. Asthma in children as a constitutional remedy.
વાહ.
Yes.
Asthma in children as a constitutional remedy. Multiple results of asthma. ગુજરાતીમાં આપણે બાળ દમા કે બાળ દમા છે ને બાળ દમા હે इसको Shastri,
મારે ઘડીએ એટલે તૈયાર હતી.
give Natrum self, you will 100% you will get it.
રિપીટેશનમાં આપવાની ને 30 TDS.
That is depend on severity of the patient.
તમે કહેતો.
અને શેમાં માફ?
You can give 30
આપણા જે
DDS
પડી
if it is very severe. Huh? If it is relapsing by some point of time,
મને
कि जब ह्यूमिड वेदर होता है, जब बरसात आती है तब होता है, फिर नहीं होता है, then go for 200, 1M, 10M as per the patient's susceptibility and body response. So
અસ્થમા. સંદાસની કે બોડી કોમાં ચાલે.
our sir Dr. J.J. Patel used to say, very sensitive Natrum lady and very egoistic sulfur husband, they both are very quarreling, and from there जो बच्चा आएगा which was very suppressed, which is Natrum cell, अगर combination हम करें तो, and that is रोज के झगड़े देख देख के बच्चा डर जाता है. So now if we directly correlate with the Vijaykar's theory, so what is respiration is for? Fright and fear. So there is a constant fear between mother and father of that daily quarrels. So that completely psychotic asthma is Natrum cell.
વેરા વાળા.
જેમીની ડેન્ગ્યુના રિપોર્ટની નોંધણી કરવાની છે એનું છે. હવામાં એમ. મને ઇન્ટ્યુશન આવે છે હવેથી.
બોલાઈ જાય.
Another effects are gonorrhea, rheumatism, sciatica, blisters, herpes virus infection, chronic gout. Another remedy is lycopodium. See, this is my clinical experience. Many of the time I used to give Natrum self in acute pain of gout. When patient comes with that particular swelling in the joints, that's, all joints are very hot to touch, joints are very sensitive, patient cannot walk on his own. उसको कोई ऐसे लेके आता था, पेशेंट ऐसे चल के आता था. क्या हुआ? इनको गाउट है, यूरिक एसिड बढ़ जाता है. बिलीव मी, ऐसे कोई भी पेशेंट को जब आप देखेंगे, वो पेशेंट को अगर खाली रिलीफ भी करने के लिए इफ यू गिव Natrum self 200 सिंगल डोज ऑन डायरेक्टली ऑन टंग and at the same time on wrist, as we earlier discussed, tongue and wrist,
Highly
we
sensitive.
are covering both sharira. As Vijayakar sir's theory,
અહીંયા આવતું.
one is gross body and second is subtle body. स्थूल शरीर, सूक्ष्म शरीर. So if you give this dose, patient will feel benefited in all kinds of gout pain within 5 to 7 minutes. Within 5. Experience it and tell me. Okay? This is my clinical experience of gout patient with Natrum cell. Another remedy is lycopodium. Another remedy is colchicum, which are very good remedies to relieve that pain, relieve that intense pain. Then you can go with the full history of the patient. Then you can find the proper GCS also. But this is our red line symptom on which you can directly prescribe. Keynote, marked periodicity of complaints. Ill effects of falls, blows, concussion or head injuries. Ill effects. तो पहले हो चुका है, उसका इफेक्ट अभी आ रहा है. इतने साल पहले ऐसा हुआ था, अभी ये हो रहा है. Headache, blindness or other physical and mental complaints after head injuries. There is one case of blindness, if I remember. In that patient, that blindness was not from genetic. It was not genetic. It was after accident. In that car accident, he got the severe major head injury. He got that contusion, and that contusion was extracted by that orthopedic or neurosurgeon. And after that extraction, that patient was not able to see. The vision was lost. And in that patient, I have given Natrum sulf in multiple doses, but in this patient, I have given Natrum sulf 3 doses, morning, evening, night. Then wait for 15 days. After 15 days,
Again,
patient was not so much improved. Again 3 doses. After repeating 3 to 4 times, patient started that light vision. अब light दिख रहा है. Earlier that was completely blackout. Now patient can see that light. तो light pass हो रहा है ऐसा लगता है. I could not able to give 100% result in that patient, but right now that patient's vision is almost 60 to 65, 70% better. 70% is better. Because there was no hope only. उसका कभी विजन आएगा ऐसा हुआ ही नहीं था. So these are red line symptoms: headache, blindness, or other physical and mental complaints after head injuries. Discharge is as thick, yellow, greenish. Every discharge is as greenish.
greenish cycle.
Now if you compare the basic daily routine में केस कैसे आते हैं बच्चों के? Acute cough and cold with chest congestion. Okay. So there are gradation which I have done in my practice of remedies. If it is clearly watery, कौन सी मेडिसिन है? Clear watery aconite, basic remedy. Second, if it is whitish, calcarea. If it is yellowish, pulsatilla and heparsol. If it is greenish, Natrum sulf, medorinum, calibicum. If it is greenish. On the base of discharge, कि ये बच्चे में या ये पेशेंट में कैसे डिस्चार्ज है, on that basis you can take the particular medicine. These all are completely clinical experience prescriptions. Give single dose, patient will be okay. Conjunctiva yellow, conjunctivitis with granular lids, intense photophobia, sensitive to sunlight, scrofulous ophthalmia. What is scrofulous ophthalmia? You all know scrofulous diathesis. What is scrofulous diathesis?
Mostly tuberculous gland affection and scrofulous.
Exactly. So in this case is scrofulous ophthalmia. Lacrimal ducts will be affected. Okay. To check better by holding cold water in the mouth. Gums burns like fire. The only remedy is Natrum. This is also a red line symptom of Natrum. To check usually better by warm water. ठंडा पीने से तो बढ़ता है, सेंसिटिविटी बढ़ती है. But in Natrum sulf patients, the gums are so much burning that they feel better with the cold water holding into their mouth. Want of appetite, repugnance to food. This is the condition of jaundice. Hepatitis. Want of appetite. Hepatitis में initially आपका appetite चला जाता है पूरा. Repugnance to food, aversion to food, burning thirst for very cold water in the evening, sour vomiting, bilious vomiting, acid dyspepsia with heartburn, flatulence, with duodenal catarrh, burning in abdomen and anus. So complete gastritis, pan gastritis. We can get this report in OGD scopy. Liver ailments, sore and enlarged, congested with sharp stitching pains, cannot bear close around abdomen. Which are the other remedies? Now we are studying materia medica, so we will do the differentiation also. Cannot bear anything tight around abdomen.
Lyco, sulfur also.
The main remedy, above all these remedies, the main remedy is
Chelidonium.
and exactly Ophidia. But Ophidia with the liver complaint, then Crotalus. See, sir has given us a very wonderful tools. So what is to be curative power of the medicine and what is to be cured. So बेसिकली कौन सा ऑर्गन अफेक्टेड है, तो ऑन दैट बेसिस अगर आपकी रूब्रिक्स में, आपके एनालिसिस में ओपीडी आता है तो उसमें से कौन सा ओपीडी आएगा, है ना. इफ इट इज साइकोसिफिलिटिक और साइकोटिक, लेकेसिस. इफ इट इज साइकोसिफिलिटिक, more angry, Crotalus horridus. If it is more religious, Crotalus cascabella. If it is neurocardiac, then it is nausea. If the patient has complaint of any kind of regarding throat, acidity, excessive acidity, GERD, elapse, that is GERD. The rubric of GERD is peristalsis reverse. Okay. So you can differentiate from this point of view. Ophidia cannot bear anything tight anywhere in the body, especially here lecasis, especially here Crotalus. Okay, especially on the chest naja. Okay, especially on the throat internal elapse. Gallstone colic. Multiple results of gallstone with Natrum side as a constitutional remedy. तो हम पहले पढ़ते थे ना कि लाइको, नक्सोमिका, चेलिडोनियम, चाइना, these all are gastric remedies. But why they all remedies are labeled as gastric remedies? Because that particular patient, that particular remedy has a specific action of gastric problem. So they are labeled as gastric. At the same time, zincum metallicum, cuprum metallicum, cocculus, gelsemium, agaricus, all are neurological remedies because they have marked affinity on neurological problems. Nosebleed during menses, nasal catarrh with thick yellow discharge, stool involuntary while passing stool, loose morning stools. Cough with thick ropey greenish discharge, must hold the chest while coughing. ऐसे पकड़ के खांसना पड़ता है due to that asthmatic problem. Due to that swelling, patient is not able to cough directly. So he used to catch the chest with the both hands and then he used to cough. Asthma, especially of malarial districts. Asthma, especially of malarial districts.
સુરત.
The first district is Kerala. Kerala is the हम बोलते हैं ना कि एक stamped malarial district के नाम पे जाना जाता है. Kerala has many patients of malaria because of that constant
ठंडी के साथ बुखार, मलेरिया,
constant damp weather, constant rain in Kerala. So there are lots of mosquitoes.
કોસ્ટલ એરિયા ને.
Asthma, especially of malarial districts, asthma of children as a constitutional remedy by Boris, as we have seen. Every fresh cold brings on the attack of asthma. Lower lobe of lung is affected. This is very specific indication. The lower lobe of lung is very affected. Empty organ feeling in chest, pain, though left lower chest, stitches of the left side of chest. Gonorrhea, thick yellowish discharge, yellowish greenish leukorrhea in woman after gonorrhea. Every spring, skin complaints reappear, tendency to warts. Soft fleshy excretions or condylomata on male genital organs. Aggravation, damp weather, basement dwellings, lying in one position, water in any form because of that hydrogenate constitution, head injury, early mornings aggravation. As we see, reverse of this, causticum and medorinum. Emulation, dry weather, pressure, emulation setting up, बैठने से सांस लेने में दिक्कत नहीं होती, सोने पर कंजेशन बढ़ जाता है. So they used to feel better in sitting up. sitting up with the front position. Which remedy?
Kalikal.
Before Kalikal?
Arsenical.
Exactly. Read the arsenic albin, boric, Patak, Boni Hussain, and Farrington. Sitting up, cuff, changing position, dry warm weather, opening.
Sir.
Natrum self evolution. Now, that particularly that was all physical and red line symptoms of Natrum self, on which you will never fail when you prescribe Natrum self, whether it is acute, whether it is chronic, or whether it is constitutional civil. Okay. Now this is Natrum self evolution. Basic of Natrum self is I am scorned, disgraced, insulted, or not appreciated by the person with whom I have the relationship, or I am connected, and I must make a great effort to gain appreciation or to be valued by the other person. So this is the complete sora, the basic need of Natrum self. I am scorned, disgraced, insulted, or not being appreciated by the person. एक मिनट
બેસને એ કાઢી લેશ કઈ સાઈડ છે કઈ સાઈડ છે
So basic need of Natrum self is I am scorned, disgraced, insulted, not appreciated by the person. So with whom they are very much connected. Not only girlfriend, boyfriend, not only husband, wife. They can be friend, they can be father, they can be mother. Any of the relation on which Natrum self is very much not dependent. They are highly sensitive with that relationship. Okay? They are not dependent on that relationship. But that dependency at the emotional level. Okay? So वहाँ जब भी कभी भी प्रॉब्लम आएगा, they feel insulted, they feel disgraced. Now if you see the delusion, disgrace, Natrum self is there. The only remedy, I think so, in Materia Medica, which has only 5 delusions.
Natrum self.
The only remedy which has only 5 delusions in repertoire. So appreciation and to be valued emotionally, morally is the theme of Natrum self. In order to be appreciated and recognized by the others in relationship, they become industrious, caring, responsible, helpful, and can be confident in. So now, if you see the basics of Natrum self, these all are the soric traits. These all are the basic needs: scorned, disgraced, insulted, not appreciated. These all are the protein imbalance of the Natrum self. To maintain this, patient will switch over to another miasm, which is in order to be appreciated or recognized by the others in relationship, they are not like this, they become. So they become means psychosis.
એડપ્ટિંગ
So in the psychotic phase, they are very industrious, caring, responsible, helpful, and can be confident. Now you can differentiate what is the soric part of Natrum self, what are the psychotic part of Natrum self, and how they go into syphilitic part. They like to be independent, they have marked sense of pride. All Natrums are very esteemed. In module 2, I clearly remember the differentiation and analysis point of Dr. Asif sir from Predictive Mumbai. He shown that Natrum mute and platina are very parallel remedy. Very parallel. If you put all the rubrics, if you put all the delusions, the only 2 remedies comes, Natrum mute and platina. So now how will you differentiate? The basic differentiation when you get Natrum mute also and platina also. What are the differentiating points? One is sensitivity, yes, exactly.
reaction is different. One is
Exactly.
saving the relationship and one is cutting the relationship.
Exactly. One is maintaining, one is bridging the relations, and one is directly cut the
Cutting the
relations.
Cutting.
Okay? These all are mental ruling points. But how will you differ a natrum and platina patient physically? See, I used to more practice on physical points because that is my perception, so I can understand physics well. So I am practice on that basis. So rather than taking a wrong delusion or rather than taking wrong false perception, by my perception, I used to go with the physical points, more physical points, which will give you the short result. That doesn't mean delusion will not give, but you need to perceive that. You need to perceive the perfect delusion of that patient. Unless and until अगर वो आपका perception हो गया वो patient का perceive करने का, then it will be wrong. Okay? Physically कैसे differentiate करेंगे? Basic physical points.
sun aggravation તમે કીધું બધા
Both
આવે
have sun
છે
aggravation.
હા એટલે તે આવે ને
નેત્રમ નાકમાં પાણી હોય પેલી પાણી હોય.
ફિઝિકલી
Exactly. Very good. Very good point. Natrum has always a glassy eyes, and platina will not have the glassy eyes. Glassy eyes means they have always that watery eyes, but that water will not drop out. Exactly. Very good point. Okay. So this is the physical ruling and rule of natrum.
આવતા રહેજો.
In order to be appreciated and recognized by the others, in a relationship they become industrious, caring, responsible, helpful and can be confident. They likes to be dependent, have marked sense of pride. They makes a lots of efforts to maintain the relationship. They can be dominated or suppressed, taken advantage or of or scorned. See, now if you see this line, they makes lot of effort to maintain the relationship.
towards the
Right? But they are not able to maintain that relationship because of that opposite person. सामने हम जो दे रहे हैं सामने वाला उतना नहीं दे रहा है. What we are taking our efforts, what we are making efforts to maintain that particular relationship, we are trying to bridge that relationship, but opposite person is not ready to accept that. Then again the gear has shifted. Again the miasm has shifted. They can be dominated or suppressed by that opposite person. Okay? Taken advantage or of scorn. So usually natrum self या natrum patients, especially natrum self, they used to say, मैंने बहुत किया उनके लिए, लेकिन उन्होंने हर बार मेरा यूज किया. मैंने क्या कुछ नहीं दिया उनको, लेकिन they have just used me. Never? They are so much dependent on relationship emotionally that they allow themselves to be made use of and treated badly. इसका commonest example, इतने emotionally attached होते हैं natrum patients, natrum self, natrum mute, natrum carp, so much emotionally connected with the opposite person, so they allow that opposite person to be used of them. वो उनका यूज करे, है ना, abuse करे, वो अभी सामने वाले पे डिपेंड करता है, and treated badly, repeatedly, बार-बार रिलेशनशिप में यही होने के बावजूद भी नेट्रम यही करेगा. इसके लिए कॉमन क्या आएगा? कहावत है ना, आ बैल मुझे मार. तो जब भी आपको लगेगा ये आ बैल मुझे मार वाला है, तो मेक टू रेमेडीज, टू डायमेंशन. आ बैल मुझे मार में दो होता है. If it is emotional then natrum, if it is intellectual then baraita. You can clearly differentiate this point. Huh? Baraita and another remedy is alumina. वो भी सेम ऐसे ही है. This can make them all the while feeling not too good about themselves, unworthy. Now treated badly. These all are part of psychosis. Now the gear has shifted. All the while feeling not too good about themselves, not feeling good about themselves,
सेल्फ वर्थ
है ना, that is unworthy. तो खुद को ही एक्सेप्ट नहीं करना, which is syphilitic point, which is autoimmune. Okay? So this can make them quite irritable and angry, but this irritability turn in guilt and remorse. They are very angry, they are very irritable, but at the same time very suppressed. So we have very key line symptom is indignation, like staphysagria, huh? Like lycopodium. Lycopodium can dominate the lower ones, but lycopodium can be dominated by higher ones. Same like another remedies, what sir always say. Sir has written in frequent encounters.
Softly superior, hard within inferior.
Exactly. What are the other remedies? Exactly.
Natrum is also.
So they can make them quite irritable and angry, but the irritability turn into guilt and remorse because they are not able to express their anger, which alternates with the feeling of indignation and hurt pride. When relationship is not successful, they go into a stage of deep sadness and become melancholic, which is usually unexpressed and internal. In this stage, they have suicidal thoughts. Sadness with suicidal disposition.
Chakrasana.
Natrum. I have one case of a lady. Her husband was working in one of my patient's factory. So that particular patient, Vijay Bhai, called me and he says that sir, एक आदमी है जिसकी वाइफ से बहुत परेशान है because of her nature. लेकिन हम उसका पूरा हिस्ट्री नहीं ले सकेंगे क्योंकि वो कुछ बोलेगी ही नहीं. मतलब तकलीफ क्या हुई? मतलब 2 दिन पहले तालाब में चली गई थी सुसाइड करने के लिए. प्रॉब्लम क्या है? पैसे का प्रॉब्लम है, हस्बैंड का प्रॉब्लम है, हस्बैंड टाइम नहीं देता है, ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं है. शी इज कंप्लीटली मेंटली गॉन पेशेंट जिसका कोई भी कंट्रोल उसके हाथ में नहीं है. बहुत इम्पल्सिव है, कभी कुछ भी कर लेती, उसको अकेला नहीं छोड़ सकते. उसके हस्बैंड को बुलाया, बोल बेसिक नेचर बताओ उसका. सर मैरिज हुआ अभी थोड़ा ही टाइम हुआ, 1 साल ही हुआ, तो परफेक्टली तो इतना नहीं जानता हूँ, लेकिन वो कुछ बोलते ही नहीं है. हम कुछ भी पूछे तो उसका कोई आंसर ही नहीं है. तो फर्स्ट पॉइंट आई गेट इज इंट्रोवर्ट.
Introvert, quiet, reserved.
इंट्रोवर्ट है तो वो इंटेलेक्चुअली डल है, घर पूरा अच्छे से संभालती है, खाना बहुत अच्छा बनाती है. तो उधर से इंटेलेक्चुअल तो पता चल गया कि शी इज बेटर, एवरेजली इंटेलेक्चुअल राइट नाउ. अनदर पार्ट, अच्छा उसको और क्या क्या तकलीफ है? फिजिकली कोई कंप्लेन नहीं है. पास्ट में कुछ था वो मुझे पता नहीं, वो तो ऐसा होगा. आपके इन-लॉज का नंबर है, लगाओ फोन. पास्ट में क्या तकलीफ क्या क्या थी? जैसे सर पास्ट में उसको 2-3 बार जॉन्डिस हुआ था, हिस्ट्री ऑफ रिकरेंट जॉन्डिस इन चाइल्डहुड. उसको पास्ट में सीढ़ियों से गिर गई थी और बेहोश थी, लगभग 7 दिन के लिए वो होश में अच्छी नहीं आई. फोन रख के डायरेक्टली नेट्रम सेल्फ 200 सिंगल डोज. Completely she turned out. That patient also came to me with the good chocolate box. Yes, sir, now she is completely better. And when they both came to my clinic to the full history for her, she was pregnant. So this was my basic. Then pregnant कब होगी? जब उनके relations normal हो गए तब. बराबर. At that time she was pregnant. So from that point of time till today, she is completely normal. Hardly इतने सालों में नेट्रम सर के 2 या 3 डोज गए होंगे. So sadness with suicidal disposition, which is autoimmune. They have no wish to live, fear of being left alone. She should injure himself. This symptom shows that the Natrum self-patient person is scared of such an impulse is very weak-willed and fears he may not be able to control himself, he has to use all his power to control that particular impulse.
Must restrain.
बहुत मेहनत करना पड़ता है कि मुझे बार बार मरने के ही विचार आते हैं। एक बार ऐसा होता है कि चलो उठ के चले जाओ रेलवे ट्रैक पे, लेकिन फिर मैं पूरा कंट्रोल करके बैठता हूँ कि नहीं, ये नहीं करना,
Must
ये नहीं
restrain
करना।
herself.
They must restrict themselves. बहुत ज़्यादा उनको इमोशनल जोर लगाना पड़ता है। So this gives the feature of anxiety, timidity, irresolution and want of self-confidence. Fear of suicidal impulses. Fear of suicidal impulses. Very red line symptom of Natrums. They feels that nothing ever works, succeed never. सब बहुत सारे बिजनेस कर लिए, बहुत सारा काम कर लिया, लेकिन कुछ भी सक्सेस जाता ही नहीं। पता नहीं मेरी किस्मत ही ऐसी है। मैं कुछ भी करता हूँ, अच्छी फैक्ट्री मुझे मिली या अच्छा बिजनेस मुझे मिला, मैंने स्टार्ट किया, वो ज्वाइन किया, वो बिजनेस भी ठप हो गया। ऐसे यूजुअली सिचुएशन में पेशेंट क्या बोलेंगे? पेशेंट के वर्ड आते हैं, ये हमको रूटीन प्रैक्टिस में मिलेंगे, मैं ही मनहूस हूँ। You will get this point in Natrum self. मैं ही मनहूस हूँ। So मैं ही मनहूस हूँ को आप delusion evil करके भी ले सकते। And second point is, which is the highest syphilitic part of this मैं ही मनहूस हूँ? Which is exactly contempt of self. खुद को ही काट देना, मैं ही मनहूस हूँ। Contempt of self is Natrum self. Disappointed feeling, plus जितने प्लस लगाने हैं all Natrums. Disappointment in love, the college remedies. उधर से मतलब उधर तब तो Natrum बहुत ही भर के दिया सब। There is a strong feelings of responsibility and guilt. जो मेडिसिन में रिस्पॉन्सिबल फील ज्यादा होगा उसी में गिल्ट आएगा। See the remorse, see the guilt, you will never find fluoric acid in there. Fluoric acid is floaters.
रात गई बात गई।
हाँ। So when he cannot able to fulfill this responsibility, goes into self-reproach or self-blaming mode, which is autoimmune thought process of Natrums. So that's all for today. This is the complete Natrums picture. We'll take another Natrums in future lectures. So stay tuned with these lectures.
તમારા વાહન
Thank you.
દેવાંગ ઉભા રહેજો ડીસી
Thank you very much, Dr. Suketu. We see the real power of homeopathy, where Dr. Nishant and his wife, they've taken a case and phosphorus was given, and followed by a very beautiful methodical case was taken, and accordingly the medicine was given, Natrum salt. So here another finding which we are having, that you should look for the affinity. When you are coming to the medicine, you should see that whether this medicine is having sphere of action of this or not. So very beautiful and very beautiful picture, the soric picture followed by psychotic, followed by syphilitic. So there is a journey of that Natrum self from being scorned to getting industrious to prove himself, and followed by remorse and autoimmunity. So very beautifully, it's a very good. I have recollect my few cases which I had not treated, and Natrum self was missed. So thank you very much, Suketu.